All right, part 31 of our Every Man's Battle study. And we're starting with the section Choosing Victory. Chapter 8 starts with The Time to Decide. We came across a newspaper story about a World War II vet named B.J. Bernie Baker, who was told he was dying of bone cancer. Given only 2 years to live, he told the doctors to fight the disease with everything possible. Give me the treatments, he said. I'll keep living my life. Meanwhile, he and his wife found time for a motorhome drive to Alaska, a fishing excursion to Costa Rica, and several trips to Florida. 9 years after the diagnosis, he was struggling with shortage of breath and loss of strength, but said, I'm going to keep fighting. Might as well. Those words were not said in resignation. They were the words of a fighter, a real man, a man who had faced bombs and machine gun fire in the South Pacific before returning to America and eventually starting Baker Mechanical Company with 2 pipe wrenches and a $125 pickup truck. It would become one of the largest companies of its kind in America. The cancer hit him hard, but he had no plans for surrender. You can kind of see where this is going, huh? Might as well keep fighting. What was BJ's alternative? To quit and die? What about you? In your battle with impure eyes and mind, what's your alternative to fighting? To stay ensnared and die spiritually? I love the way he brings this across, because he's bringing it across as if somebody's saying, hey, you've got a cancer. You've got some disease that's fighting against your body. What option are you going to pick? To stay there? To stay stuck in it? To stay ensnared by it? And then eventually die? Or do you want to keep on fighting? Take the B.J. Bernie Baker approach, right? Take that approach and say, I'm going to fight this thing. When you talk to courageous men from BJ's generation, World War II veterans who embody the title of Tom Brokaw's book, The Greatest Generation, they say they don't feel like heroes. They simply had a job to do. When the landing craft ramps fell open, they swallowed hard and said, it's time to fight. In your struggle with sexual impurity, isn't it time? Sure, fighting back will be hard. It was for us. When we began our fight, we fully expected to take a beating at first, and we did. Our sin had humbled us, but we wanted victory over that sin and the respect of our God. What does that mean? Number one, victory over sin. You understand that part. That part means to defeat it. That part means to beat it and to not have it in your life anymore. The other part, though, respect from God, right? The respect of our God, that's talking about Job. That's talking about what the Bible said about Job, how Job was like the most holy man. I want the respect of God to where God looks at me and says, hey, have you considered my servant Billy? Put your name in there. Put your name in there. See what that looks like. See how that feels. Try it on. Because I'm telling you, you can have the respect of God because of what you decide to do in winning over your sin. Okay? Your life and home are under a withering barrage of machine gun sexuality that rakes the landscape mercilessly. Right now, you're in the landing craft, inching closer to the shore and a showdown. God has given you the weapons and trained you for battle. You can't stay in the landing craft forever. Sooner or later, the ramp will drop, and then it will be your time to run bravely into the teeth of battle. God will run with you, but he won't run for you. It's time to plunge ahead and go like a man. From Fred, winning when the battle is hottest. If you remember my story, I rejected some sexual sin when I became a Christian, but I hadn't entirely destroyed my yielding to sexual culture's negative influence upon me. And so I became ensnared. As I continued to fight sexual temptation as a married man, many a day I wistfully mourned a hormone drop would really help. I was tired of the battle and wanted it badly to go away. Eventually, as the birthdays passed and nothing cleared up, I sensed I'd been duped. I was sick of sinning, sick of Satan, and sick of me. And I didn't want to wait anymore. Like the people of Israel, I came to loathe myself. Just like the people of Israel, according to God's prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 6 and verse 9. I was angry. I wanted to win right away and to win decisively, not somewhere down the road when age might bring victory through the back door. I wanted to win when the battle was hottest. You should too. If you don't win now, you'll never know whether you're truly a man of God. That is big right there. He said, I want to win when the battle is the hottest. I want to win at the moment of the battle. I don't want to win later on down the road when maybe I grow out of this, or maybe my hormones drop, as I get older, and then it won't be such a problem. And then I can kind of claim victory. Claim victory. There you go. Because that's not what we need to be doing. That's not victory at all. That's not victory at all, man. That, in a sense, is taking the coward's way out. That, in a sense, is not, because what you're doing is you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything at that point. We got to fight this thing and win it while the battle is at its hottest. Okay? Going to war, going to win. 3 years ago, I counseled Ben, who said he wanted sexual integrity, but his words were just words. I'm still buying the magazines, he said recently, the pornographic magazines. Basically he's saying, I'm still looking at stuff online. I'm still looking at pornography online. He said recently, I guess I just don't hate it enough. Kirk was a worker in a local ministry, was caught in the early stages of an affair. By talking dirty, he'd been pushing a coworker toward a compromising situation. He said he wanted my help, and I agreed to meet with Kirk and his pastor. In our first meeting, the pastor said, in our community, this kind of talk and behavior is commonplace. I saw Kirk nod his head in agreement. I didn't meet with Kirk again because I knew he didn't hate his sin. That is the struggle. He wouldn't meet with him again because he didn't hate his sin. I'm telling you right now, I work with guys right now, and I chose to work with them, who, in all honesty, I don't believe that they hate their sin, and it's become, it stays a problem. Things stay a problem because they don't hate their sin. We have to get to a place where we hate our sin, okay? Very, very important to do that. Similarly, I'm reminded of a 17-year-old Ronnie who was masturbating several times a day. His pastor told me, Ronnie says he wants to be free, but he doesn't feel any compunction to put in any effort on his own. He'll give up his sin, but only if God does it. In other words, if God takes away the desire for it. Later, Ronnie rushed into his pastor's office in terror, saying, Pastor, you've got to help me. You know the fantasies I have while I'm masturbating. 2 weeks ago, they suddenly turned homosexual, and I can't make them stop. That was the epiphany that Ronnie needed to stand up and fight. Now, that's not going to happen to everybody in that manner. But guess what? If you're justifying what you're doing because it hasn't turned to something worse, or what you would view as worse, just something you would see as being worse, doesn't mean it's not bad, doesn't mean you don't need to overcome it. And let me tell you this right now. I've said this before. I said this in another video, but I'm going to tell it to you again right now. God is not going to remove sexual desire from your life. God is not going to take that away. You have it for a reason, and you have it because you can overcome it. You can achieve what you want to achieve. You don't have to live in it. You don't have to live in it. As we keep going, you're going to see that. Stay with me. Okay? Take notes. Okay? Go back to session 1. Take notes. All right? All the way back from our first video. Leave a comment. Ask me questions. And we'll talk later.